Thank you so much for the question. She says she has a repotting question.
Okay.
She has a jasmine plant.
Okay.
Those are the fragrant white flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been in the same bean-shaped pot for over 5 years. And
wow.
she wants to either repot the whole thing or make a couple of plants. What's the best way to get a root-bound plant out of a bean pot?
Okay.
What is a bean pot?
Well, it's a peculiar shaped pot, and sometimes plants can be a little tricky getting them out of those. I hate to say it. Sometimes it involves actually breaking the pot, especially if it's been in there for quite some time. And if it's been in there that long, I would surely encourage you to maybe incorporate that, or step it up to kind of the next size container at least, to give it those roots something to grow into. If you take it out and we notice that root ball has got some what are called circling roots, that can be a little bit of an issue. And so before you transplant it into a new container, it's a good thing to take like a box cutter or a knife and just kind of score the root ball on a couple of different sides. Also, if you can kind of take your hands and what we say, tickle the roots and kind of loosen that root ball up before you put it into the new container, that's a great idea too. When you put it into that new container, I would definitely encourage you to use a good premium potting mix when you do so, and that's going to give that jasmine like a new life.
Oh, my gosh,
and she mentioned maybe starting new plants.
Yeah.
If you've got an established plant, depending if it's got multiple trunks, it can be very difficult to actually kind of dividing that plant. But sort of like the caller who was mentioning about, rooting or starting more roses from the plants that she have, you can start, new jasmine plants by, taking cuttings off of it, taking that cutting, dipping it into, the powdered rooting hormone, and starting the cuttings from there. And that way you can kind of share that plant with your friends and family.
And not take the chance of actually killing the whole thing.
Injuring the mama plant or whatever.
Yeah.
But, that technique of taking the plant out and doing a little bit of tickling the roots, or even doing some root pruning, which is kind of shaving a little bit off the root system itself. That is sort of the same sort of principle and technique that they use in bonsai trees.
I've seen what you were talking about earlier, that circular root.
Yes.
I had no
Circular
idea that
roots.
you could even, what is that? It's just from being there so long?
Yeah, being in the same container, those roots, they go out to the edge of the pot and they got nowhere to go, so they just start going in circles and stuff. And after a period of time, one thing that you want to remember is growing container plants is as you're watering and as time goes on, nutrients that are available to the plant and the soil, they leach out through the little drain hole in the bottom of the pot. So you do need to periodically either repot them or take them out, do some root pruning on them, and put them back in there with some fresh soil. And also to try to fertilize your container-grown plants, once a month or so. Lots of great fertilizers out there, or use a time-release fertilizer like Osmocote.
Okay, she has a follow-up question. She says her 6-year-old, you can tell this lady, she is an expert. She's got some old plants.
That's
great. That's always good success.
Oh, yes.
She says her 6-year-old tangerine tree grown from a seed is now taller than me. I'd like to put it in a bigger pot. It's in a 12-inch pot now. How big a pot would I need for a 5-foot tree with a 1-inch trunk?
Well, I think that you would probably be best suited to maybe go up to like a 24-inch container. It doesn't matter if it's terracotta, ceramic, plastic, whatever you want, or even like into a half whiskey barrel would be nice too. I have a lot of customers that grow their citrus in half whiskey barrels, so that would be a good thing. Again, use a good premium potting mix. Stay away from the cheap soils and stuff. I always like to tell our customers, gosh, you're spending, good money on these plants and stuff. Last thing you want to do is put them into, what I say, cheap dirt.